Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another episode of the Financial Life Podcast. With it being Monday, this is the Military Monday segment where I am showcasing other veterans who have served in the military, whether they be served in the Coast Guard, Marine Corps, Army, Navy, now the Space Force, which is very, very new compared to the other branches, and highlighting their service, what they're doing now, their mission, their passion, and whatever that may be and looks like for them. So today I have an interesting episode which I've been looking forward to for a while. I won't tell you this right now, but we'll get into it. But it's I feel like I'm about to learn a lot in something that I feel like a lot of us take for granted when we go to the store and buy this one thing or we put on our food. Before I get into that, before I introduce my guest, some of you may know, some of you may not know. I do some things to help people out with financial literacy, one-on-one coaching, helping people with understanding credit, helping businesses build their business credit. If you would like help in any one of those areas, please go to speakwithmatt.info. Again, speakwithmatt.info. That'll take you direct to my calendar. No need to put in a triple W. You'll book a free 30-minute call, talk about your goals, what's going on, and go from there. This episode is also sponsored by Born to Risk. I'm also one of the co-authors of the book. If you'd like a copy, reach out to me. Proceeds go to support other veteran organizations. With that being said, I have the honor of introducing my first Gunnery Sergeant on my podcast today. Gunnery Sergeant Beale. How are you today? We call you
I'm doing
you work for a
fine.
living.
I'm doing great. And Semper
Number five.
to you, and thanks for this opportunity to express myself and tell a bit about myself.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this for what you do now. For everyone listening to this, where they're live recording, we're gonna have a great conversation about hot sauce, but like the good kind. That like kind of like there's beer and there's craft beer, and I'm really interested to learn about your story, how this came about, and what goes into making like hot sauce and all that stuff. Because again, I believe it's one of those things where you go to the store, you find your flavor, you don't think much about it, and you're like, great, unless you're in I don't know, some hot sauce competition tasting, which I think there may be some. But anyways, I'm digressing here. But yeah, so let's start with you. Sure, the Marine Corps. Where were you stationed at? How long? And what got you into that? And how did that lead you to where you are now?
Well, actually, I'm an aviation Marine. Uh, I've been in transports the majority of my time in the Marine Corps. I've flown as a flight crew member. I started out on R4Ds, C-119s, R5Ds, and ended up uh, as a flight engineer on KC-130F, the first black flight engineer the Marine Corps had on
Wow.
KC-130F type aircraft. I am also the only black Marine in the history of the Marine Corps to have an Antarctica Expeditionary Medal. That means I was
Wow.
on the ice. I was TAD to a Navy Squadron VXE-6. At the time, they were out of Quonset Point, Rhode Island.
Hmm.
Marine detachment was only 6 Marines and 230 sailors. We flew the ski versions, LC-130 and LC-130R type aircraft down on the ice at the Antarctica. They had skis on them, so
Oh
we'd
wow.
land on this ice and the snow out there. And our home base was McMurdo Sounds. And I was on Operation Deep Freeze 1970 and 1971. Prior to that, I spent a lot of time in Vietnam.
Mm.
I have earned 23 combat air medals.
Wow.
Drop flares at Ashaw Valley at night. I was stationed at Da Nang, but I've been on if they have an airfield suitable for a C-130 to land, I've been there.
Wow.
Including Khe Sanh, where they were under siege. We would fly in, drop our supplies on the roll, and take off before, the enemy could fire mortar shells over to hit our aircraft. Uh, my time in the Marine Corps was very exciting. Prior to the Marine Corps, I was in the Navy 15 months, but then I transferred over to the Marine Corps.
Mm.
And I did 21 and a half years of active duty in the Marine Corps and retired and went to the reserve. So I have a total of 30 years. Uh, it was really back in the early 50s, things were kind of adverse.
Mhm.
We had our segregation tendencies, and it was kind of hard, but I made it through it. But let me say this.
Yeah.
I've had some hard times in the Marine Corps because of racial issues. But in all fairness, those Marines that were non-black helped me a lot. Okay. You know, I believe that all Marines are green, even though in reality it wasn't like that. Marine Corps nowadays is totally different than it used to be.
Mhm.
I had to always be better than the best just to make the grade in a lot of instances. Uh, it was really difficult for me to become a flight engineer. I had to go through some real hard times to get to classes to qualify, and then to get the flight test to get my wings. So it was really rough, but like I said, I have to give credence and truthfulness to the non-biased Marines.
Yeah.
So simplified to us all. Hot sauce wise, we entered in Thousand Oaks, California. We entered a competition of 21 nations, 125 participants, all judging the hot sauce, and we come in number three. So we did real good at that.
That's right. Yeah, you had told me that when we first talked, like you came in number three at all those. I
Right.
was like, wow, that's. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
normal, but it's still a big accomplishment. You're in the top 10, top five. That's huge.
21 nations, 125 contestants, and we come in number three. That was damn good.
Yeah.
Because you see, in reality, if it ain't Beal, it ain't real.
I like it. I like it. I want that one. I
That's
want to run
right.
with that. I want to.
That's
It
right.
ain't real. It
That's
ain't real.
right.
Get out my face. What are we talking about? Talk to
If
him.
it,
Go to
if
Gunny.
it
Get
ain't,
your hot sauce. That's all that matters.
that's right. And you can put it on all your meals because you see, we have flavor, not heat. We have three different flavors, you know what I mean? So we got mild, medium, and wow. Okay, so
Mom,
there's
medium,
three
wild.
different flavors. And if you look at the labels, you're a Marine, you can look and see the chevrons. You start one chevron, that's schmuckatelli. You know what a schmuck is. Then the next one, you got three chevrons, that's a sergeant.
Yeah.
And then the last one, you got five, three up and two down. That's the gunny fire. And that's the one we won the competition on.
Wow.
So, uh, you know, let people understand that, it's just not only the product, it is our sincere efforts to please people, to please their palate, and to let them know that this ain't just hot sauce. This is real sauce. You can
Mm.
apply it to everything. You can even put it on your fingertips and taste it. This is good. Okay? So some hot sauce burns you out.
Yeah.
We have the greatest, and that's no kidding. We have never had a complaint. People always loved it. And if they go and try it, they'll love it too.
Okay. There's so many things I want to ask. So I'm gonna back a little bit. So for the hot sauce, you said you have flavor, not heat. What do you mean by that? And does that mean because when people think of hot sauce, they're thinking of like the heat, and then you have the YouTube show Hot Ones. So what do you mean by that? And what made you say let's focus on flavor and not how hot it is?
Well, you know yourself. Take, for instance, uh, our schmuckatelli, you can put it on salads,
Okay.
fish, and stuff like that. And you'll taste it, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
won't feel no heat.
Okay.
And the sergeant sauce, you know what I mean, is a normal sort of sauce that if you put it on things, it'll be, you can taste the hot sauce, but the flavor is what
Mm.
counts.
Right.
If you burn people out with an extreme hot product, they're not going to enjoy their meal. You know what I mean? Right? You know,
Yeah.
you bite into something, man, and it shoots all the way to the top of your head and your eyes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I've
you don't
seen
do
my
it like that.
girlfriend. I've seen my girlfriend. There's I don't know if you guys have the restaurant called Zaxby's in where you're at, but they have you give their salad. They have different hot sauces. And the one I think the hottest one's called Nuclear. My girlfriend likes hot sauce, right? She's got it like twice. I think the first time she got it, put it in her salad, and it just she looked like she was in pain. I was like, "It tastes good." She's like, "Yeah, but it's like she was crying, coughing," and I'm like, "That doesn't look like it's enjoyable." And then
Yeah.
obviously there's bathroom issues, won't go there. But I was like, "I'm not doing that." But you're right.
Well,
It's like you looks like, "Are you okay? Why did you voluntarily put yourself in pain to have a tasteful experience?"
well, I eat garlic and chili peppers every meal. But some people just cannot tolerate that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
I mean, it's just like coffee drinkers. If you took a cup of coffee and it was boiling hot and you didn't know it and took a sip, that's a disaster. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
To me, sauces are the same way. You know, you have some food in front of you, you put some sauce on it, take a spoonful or whatever, and bang, it goes to the top of your head, your eyes, and all the kind of stuff. That's to me is not the purpose of having hot sauce. That's killer.
Yeah.
Okay. They have peppers and solutions out here now that are really dangerous. You know, so you have to think about people and their meals because you pay your money for it to
Right.
eat,
Yeah.
right? So you don't want just heat after you paid your money. You want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you can graduate with our product. You can take it from extremely mild to normal hot, and if you're a daredevil, then you can take the hot. But we never destroy the flavor. We
Ah,
never destroy people's meals. And like I said, we never had a complaint. Nobody's ever come back and said, wow, I don't like that. They come back and they said, give me more. There's no substitute for quality. Okay. So,
I like that. Yeah, you're right. See, I knew when I spoke with you two, I knew I'm like, I'm gonna learn something about hot sauce, something I've never thought about. I don't know what I'm gonna learn, but it's gonna open my world. It may not be huge, but just this much. I'm gonna go, oh, I see now. And so you guys are focused on the flavor, the flavor. When I think of hot sauce and probably come across, people think of it like how hot is it gonna be? Like the heat versus well, there's that, but if I give you the flavor, like you said, you'll enjoy it more, you want more of it versus feeling like you're
yeah,
dying.
you don't want your lips burning, your eyes running and stuff like. I challenge anybody take the Beal sauce test. We have three flavors. Don't start at the top and go
Okay.
down. Start at the bottom and go up. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
See? And then you can see the real value of sauce, not hot sauce. So some people have liquid fire in a bottle. You don't need that. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you're not acclimated to it. Some
Right.
countries and some cultures, that's their thing.
Right.
But here in America, we want quality, not quantity. And like I said, if it ain't Beal, it ain't real.
Ah,
Okay.
that made my year. Forget everything else.
So, it's common sense will never be replaced by genius. Okay.
I like
But,
that too. Common
but
sense.
see, some people can sit down and teach you how to go from here to the moon, but they can't go from here to Walmart. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So food products are the same way. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah.
You can destroy a person's meal if you give them something and they put on it. As soon as it hits their palate, their eyes go watering and their nose burns and it goes to
Yeah.
the top of their head and their lips hurt. That's to me, that's not the purpose. But if you put something on your meal and you say, "Oh, I like that," you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It enhances, it builds up your meal. Then you don't mind spending your money for it, right?
Right.
So take the Beal challenge. You know what I mean? You know, take the Beal challenge. Start at the bottom, work your way to the top. And if you don't like it, and if your experience cannot back up my words, contact me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
You know what? You make a good point. Like you went from a, how am I trying to say this? You made a very smart move when doing this. You were like, let's come from a place of common sense versus trying to be a genius and like try to make something more complicated than what it is. Keep it simple. And I think that that makes a big difference in everything, especially if you're going to business and marketing. Like keep it simple. Do some basic foundation first, and then build and change from there. So I like how you said that. Um, I want to go back just tad from the hot sauce, but I wanted to ask you, like, so you've been to you the time you spent in Antarctica, like, what was that like? What was that experience like?
Antarctica,
Yeah.
well, it was like minus 56 degrees the day I left, okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
I
Woo.
would rather sweat than shiver, trust
Eh,
me.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But it's not as much, it's not as dangerous as it sounds if you adhere to your training. You have to have proper cold weather training and psychological training before they send you to the ice. But now the military, that program is shut down. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Operation, Operation Defreeze in my day, the Antarctica was controlled by 21 nations.
right.
Okay. Any live, like if you took dogs to the ice, we have dog teams. They got to stay there. They can't come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So any form of life you take down, it has to stay there. Uh, we flew the scientists around from this place to that place, and then they get ice cores out of ice that's been 5,000 years old. They look for fossils and all that sort of stuff. And when they want to come back, they have HF radios. They'll call us. We get their location, we land, pick them up, and take them back to the main base. Uh, Antarctica has 6 months of daylight, 6 months of darkness. So
That's it.
it's
It's not like a regular like night and day. It's 6 months dark and that's it. There's no in
it's
between.
trick. If you go down there in the summer,
Uh-huh.
it's all daylight, 24, all day long. 2 o'clock in the morning, man, it's like 12 o'clock noontime out here. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
no.
the seasons are reversed. Normally, you think of winter as uh, late November, December, January,
Yeah.
February, like that. It's opposite, you know what I mean, down there. June is winter. Because you're down south of the equator, everything turns upside down,
Uh,
180, you know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And you know, the Arctica, you got polar bears and stuff like that. Antarctica, the only thing you have inland is penguins. And there's life around the shores. You got seals and stuff like that, but they're on the coast. Penguins.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, Antarctica it's a hell of a place. You can survive as long as you stay within the guidelines that you're taught. You know,
Yeah.
they have things like ice outs. When you have an ice out, you can't even see your hand in front of your face if you're outside. I mean, that that fog, that ice out that white out, they call them, is so thick.
Mhm.
And you have what they call like a heavy leather belt with hooks on it,
Mhm.
and all the buildings have rails. So you hook yourself onto one of them rails, you're always going to come to a door.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But they have people that do the macho thing, go out in the whiteout, don't hook up. You'll find them 3 and 4 feet away from the door. They're gone, frozen. They had
Wow.
they have bamboo poles
Uh-huh.
about 15, 20 foot long, stuck in the ice with flags, different color flags, to designate what the thickness of the ice is within those poles. You follow me?
Yeah.
Now, you have vehicles have their certain weight. If you get out of your corridor, you're going through that ice. And if you
Ooh,
go through the ice, it's all over. You know what I mean? Ain't no coming back from that.
right.
So, there's a whole lot of things that you have to adhere to survive. Simplicity, but the macho and all that kind of stuff. Ain't no Rambos on the ice, believe me. You know what I mean? And it was really interesting. I was flight engineer on the longest flight in history of the Antarctica at that time, 7,000 miles one way, all the way out to Vostok. You know, you read up on Vostok, they got to discover the lake underneath and all the kind of stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a hell of a time. It was good though.
Ooh.
One of the funniest times I had real quick was
Uh,
we had to take the scientists to different locations for a conference. So me and my crew, we flew them out there, and you have to drive stakes in the ice to tie your aircraft down because they sit on Teflon skis. There's no brakes.
yeah.
So you tie the aircraft down so the wind don't move it around, right?
Otherwise, you got no aircraft
Anyway,
on brakes.
we finished all of that stuff. Yeah, you reverse power on your propellers to stop the aircraft. And that's how you stop.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, everybody's inside hobnobbing, all of the scientists from different nations and all the rest of it. So when me and my crew got done, we come into like a big insulated freezer type structure. We come in, we sit down in the back row. Well, every time there's a pause, a new dignitary would get up and speak. We flew Admiral Walsh, 3-star admiral, out there. But now, when we came in and sat down, you take off your Parkers and your Ray-Ban glasses and all the rest of that. Everything got quiet. Everybody's looking to the rear. We're the only ones back there. They're looking to the rear. I'm looking to the rear. Well, they're looking, ain't nothing there but a wall and a door. They were looking at me. Even though, even though they were scientists and stuff like that, some of them Russians and other nations had never been in the company of a real black person. Okay, so it wasn't a type of discrimination or nothing like that.
Okay.
They're looking at it from a medical and a scientific situation. They had never seen a black person.
They're like, what's wrong with this guy?
Well, I mean, on TV and all of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about real life. And some of them
Yeah.
were young, 20-some years old, 30-some years old, and they come from countries, Russia and stuff like that, where they never come contact. But they were so nice and proper, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
oh yeah. They were really they were on it, man. They they wanted permission to touch my skin, my hair, all of this sort of thing, which was okay. I mean, they're doctors and scientists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the way they came. They were really wonderful people, you know what I mean? I never had an adverse moment whatsoever. You know what? Let me tell you this. I've been so many places I can hardly give you the names of.
Hmm.
The most problems and the problems I had with discrimination and all of that sort of stuff were brought by us Americans against Americans. And that's sad. That is really sad. Of
Yeah.
course, a lot of it is dissipated in the military nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the problems that I had back in the early 50s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The military men brought their trash with them. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
The local natives, like New Zealand, Christchurch, New Zealand is the nicest place I've ever been. Those people, I mean, to them, you're a Yank. If you're from America, you're a Yank. They don't care whether you're polka dot, striped, chartreuse, or they don't give a damn. You're an American, and they treat you fine.
Wow.
The only problem I had down there was some American sailor got loose in the lips. You know what I mean? And of course, I had to tighten them up a little bit. But anyway, you know,
Yeah.
I've traveled. I traveled the world around 12 and a half times, flying airplanes. I was a flight engineer for Lieutenant General Jones. He was commanding General Fleet Marine Force Pacific in 1968. I was his flight engineer. Where he went, I went. And all the Tinian Iwo Jima, Tara, I mean, any place, Guam, Vietnam, Philippines, Korea, uh, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on and on, you know. But nowadays, Marine Corps, we got a four-star black general. That shocked me, but I'm so proud of the Marine Corps nowadays.
Yeah.
I had a hard experience with the Marine Corps in the 70s, like 1972 and 71. Well, no, 72, 73. They were having problems with guys bringing dope and stuff like that out of Vietnam back to the Japanese mainland. And two of my crew members got caught up in that. They
No.
said, Gunny, what are we going to do? I said, look, I don't know what you're wrong. I don't know what you're right. All I can tell you is have legal representation there when you question. That's your right. Well, they started doing that, and JAG didn't have the lawyers, so they couldn't jam all these guys, and they were using a guy that was an informant. He was a heroin addict, corporal, young corporal, to make statements against people. And under Japanese law, somebody make a statement against you, they'll arrest you. You have to prove you're innocent. You're not innocent to prove guilty. You're guilty to prove innocent. That's the law. CID got pissed off with me. Hey, Gunny, you can't be telling these. I said, hey, let me tell you something. If it's legal and it's their right, I will tell them. I don't care what you have to say. So they got this junkie to write a statement against me, and I got arrested. I spent 8.5 months in a foreign prison
No.
over something I didn't do. And I don't know if you ever heard of Melvin Belli, a criminal lawyer, one of the best in history.
I'm not.
He came to Okinawa to defend me. And I was found innocent. The only reason I was found innocent because it was all put up. They wanted me as a whistleblower handled so that they could finish their tour and get back to the States rather than face the fact that they violated all these youngsters' rights.
Wow.
I mean, I got all of the newspapers. I got everything to substantiate anything I say to you. I got it all. Now I have an attorney. I'm waiting on a document number now to go in front of the Board of Corrections. My attorney's in San Antonio. His name is Daniel Conway. And we submitted everything there is. The first time I submitted papers against them was in 1976, and they put all of this stuff on the shelf. They never, then when we finally dug it, well, hey, what's with this? They said, well, we cannot accept the Japanese court records because it's written in Japanese. I said, you don't need that. You can verify. How you cannot verify me sitting in jail 8.5 months?
Yeah.
No, no.
Get a
I
translator.
have a,
Hard.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I got a perfect record. I've never even had office hours. I've never been court martial. I've never been nothing. And they don't want to face that. So now we're waiting on a document so that we can go to court and face it. All of these years since 1976. But anyway, it'll play out.
Wow.
Now get back to hot sauce real quick.
Yeah. I
I
just want
miss
to hear more about the experience and all that stuff. So, what got you into hot sauce and not like a different business?
Well, I used to walk around with jalapenos and garlic in my pocket because I like to eat it when I eat. So I was at this restaurant in and I met these people from San Salvador. They owned the restaurant. They see me put my hand in my pocket and pull out a pepper and garlic, and they came over to me and said, you like chilies? I said, yeah. They said, here, try this, and they gave me a habanero,
Oh,
which I never seen one before.
oh, those things are hot.
So I bit into that dude, and man, yeah, it was like a rocket ship. Whoa. So I found out where they could buy him. I brought some, I took him home. And my son Gerald says, man, you eat this stuff every meal until so and so. We ought to make some hot sauce salads. Well, I would make hot sauce, but I give it to my friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He said, "No, we need to make this commercial." So I says, "Well, do it," and he did. That's why he's the CEO of the company.
Mhm.
Just because you own something, don't mean you're the best person to run it.
Right.
Okay, so his young mind and technical ability with computers and so forth and so on, it got us to where we are today. We ship hot sauce everywhere across the nation and into a couple foreign countries. We have a whole web page and everything else. Beal can look, anybody can look it up. Beal sauce. And that's how it originated in 2017.
Okay.
And we're family owned, minority owned, military owned company. We're based here in Sacramento. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a commercial kitchen here. We got everything here. And it's commercialized, like I said, because it was my dream and my son put it to reality. So that's how it is.
I like that. I like that. And you said right now you guys you only have three flavors currently?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we have three flavors: schmuckatelli, sergeant sauce, and gunny fire.
Got any fire?
Excuse me. We're in a couple stores, but we ship everywhere.
Okay. Do you are there plans to develop more in the future, like more flavors?
Yeah, we want to add a couple. Well, right now all our sauces are red in color, but we're gonna develop some that are green.
Okay.
Two, probably two that are green. We're working on it right now. But our sauce, our mild sauce, schmuckatelli, is made from peaches, bell peppers, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's really sweet, and you can barely even get any
Wow.
eat out of it. You know what I mean? Sergeant sauce is hot sauce, but it don't burn you up. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
won't burn you up. If you like hot sauce, you can still taste your meal. You know what I mean? And it's good quality. We meet all regulations that the government, state, community, federal, any 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 regulation you can name, we already got it.
Yeah.
But that's how we roll. You have to protect the people that you sell stuff to. So, it has to be cooked for a certain length of time and, all of the processes and stuff like that we do. And the government inspects our commercial kitchen, our process and all the rest of that. Excuse me. And we qualify. We have never had any discrepancies and we never will. So that's the basics of our existence in our company.
Yeah.
And of course, Gerald is the CEO of the company because he is the most qualified. Okay. And he's the one that really got us going. And of course, there's five of us and we're all family members, sons, uh, Gerald's mother, my wife, Gerald's brothers. And, we're all together make up Beal sauce. Okay.
How's the saying
So
go? If it ain't Beal, it ain't real.
that's it. And that's the truth. That's the truth. You know what I mean? If it ain't real, it ain't real, and it will enhance your meal. Okay.
Ah, I like that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, anybody that tries our product that can communicate with us and say they don't like it, well, we'll replace it. We have never, ever had a complaint. And that's it. And, opportunities like this to speak to people that sponsor us, like yourself, and we appreciate that. We really do. Like I said, we're family owned, veteran owned, and minority owned. So we're wholesome. And my advice to anybody out there: see, when you make a company,
Mhm.
you don't own the company. The company owns you because the company will dictate your regulations, your efforts, and so forth and so on and so on. So you have to meet all of these things to be successful. And you have to make sure you comply with all rules and regulations. Make sure you don't get into tax bind. Make sure you don't accept some type of loan that could cripple you because you can't pay it back or things like that, you know.
I I
Um,
I've seen that happen in a lot of businesses. We
yeah,
also help
yeah,
with getting business funding, and we come across people who've taken too many of these cash advance loans that are really expensive, and it's like,
yeah.
don't do that.
Yes, because we don't take any loans out and nothing like that. We rough it out ourselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We don't owe anybody. There's nobody gonna knock on the door and say, hey, this, that, and other, or slap some notice on our doors or seize our property and all that. We don't even have any thoughts of that because of the way we handle ourselves, you know. Or we can account for every red cent that we spend, that we make. And sure, we grow slowly, but it's steady. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Every step you take, you got to make sure it's on concrete, not on mud. Okay. If you pour concrete down and let it harden, you can stand on top of that. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I
yep.
mean, you don't see people going down to the beach and build the house at the water's edge.
No,
Every wave is going to come in and take away something. You
yeah,
know, they get back on solid ground, and that's where they build. Those that are smart. Some of them on solid ground aren't smart, and the waves come in still and wash them away. You got to put that sheet piling down, you know what I mean, to make the ground stable. So when you have a business, you have to make sure your practices keep you busy, your business stable. You can't go out on a limb, you know what I mean? You have to, it's better to take small steps on a constant basis rather than to take one great big huge step and everything behind you falls apart
right.
and the whole thing collapses. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, like I said, common sense will never be replaced by genius. Okay. And remember, a professional writer and an amateur writer, they got one thing in common, and that is they both have an eraser on the end of their pencil. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, integrity and stuff like that and simplicity is your best method. You know what I mean?
yep,
And don't overextend yourself and don't go against your own common knowledge. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And honesty, you be honest with yourself, you stand a better chance. You know what I mean? And with your members of your company, you got to substantiate who they are and what they are. You don't take chances. You know what I mean? You make solid decisions and protect your money. You know what I mean? Have your money regulated and accounted and stuff like that, And if you have a corporation or if you have a company with 4 or 5 members, everything must be transparent. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
can't have this guy doing this and this person doing that, and they ain't sharing the information here and so forth and so on. And you got to have continuity and honesty 100%, period. Not 99.9. It's got to be 100%. You got to be able to trust all your members and you got to be trustworthy yourself. So that's how we roll. You know what I mean?
yep,
When our CEO tells us this is what we're going to do, then that's what we do, period. You know, if you're running a business, the business is like a pyramid.
mhm,
There's only room for one at the top. But if that one at the top don't protect, mold, and secure those underneath him, then it's going to collapse. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? So you got to support. It's just like a house,
mm,
just like a home. You got a foundation, you got walls, and you got a roof. Now, if you remove any one of those, it's going to collapse. If you take the walls out, the ceiling's going to fall,
Right.
right? If you break up the foundation, the whole structure's going to fall. If you take the walls out or the ceiling, any major component that's necessary for your survival and your advancement, if you remove it, you're going to
Right.
fail. And that plain and simple. So, with all of that being said, I am a happy man. I got a good family. We work together, we stick together, you know what I mean? And, programs like this have an opportunity to speak to someone who cares, to spread the word out, you know what I mean? See, the truth doesn't need any support, okay? Because the truth, no matter what type of truth it is, it will stand against all its enemies. The truth, not fake information and all this. You I mean, the absolute truth does not need any support. Okay? And remember, there's a difference between learning something and memorizing something also. You talk to somebody, you might memorize their name. You see that person 5, 10 years ago, you say, oh, I can't remember their name. But if you learn their name, it'll stay in here forever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay? And keep it simple. You'll be all right.
Wise words. Gold. It's been a very good episode. Ken, I thank you for being on. This has been very good. I'm gonna learn something today. Some things. I'm going to get a lot of value out of this. I knew it. I was looking forward to it. So I thank you for being on and taking the time and sharing what you've learned, your wisdom, your experience of what you've, throughout your life. Last question I have is how can people get a hold of you guys and buy some of your sauce, all that stuff?
Well, we have a website. We have a whole page, and all they have to do is Beal sauce. Where's that? Beal sauce. www.com. Beal sauce, and it's called the Beal Sauce Company. You know what I mean? They can look us up and find us real quick. You know what I mean? I don't see it. Can you see my card? Let me see.
Nah, it's not up on the
You can't see my card. Well, anyway, all you got to do is right, Beal Sauce, www.com. And that'll bring you right to our webpage.
and
And
Beal
the
spelled
webpage,
and Beal spelled
Beal,
Beale sauce.
right,
Okay.
right. BealSauce.com. That'll get it. Beale. Just like Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee. That's how, famous Beale Street. But anyway, yeah, do that. And you can also reach me. My phone number is 510-301-0875. And our CEO's number, you know what I mean, is not available right now. So
No, no,
just,
no, no.
but anyway, yeah, I appreciate this opportunity. It's really great, you know what I mean? Because, you know, the old got to make way for the new. A lot of us seniors, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Uh, when I wanted to call from California while I was in Philadelphia, from Philadelphia to California, I had to make an appointment. And then, you get from Philadelphia to maybe St. Louis, from St. Louis maybe to Oklahoma, and finally you reach LA, but you have to sit there by your phone.
Yeah.
Pay phones everywhere, drop dimes, coins, whatever. I never thought I would live to see a laptop like we're talking on now,
Hmm.
or the cell phones and stuff like that is unheard of. I
Yeah.
used to, I used to, when phones were simple, I used to sit around and I say, how can you punch all these numbers in and get this person without all of those signals and wires being crossed and all this kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But time marches on, and technology marshal. But also the same way with hot sauce. There was a time when hot sauce was just hot sauce. We are a sauce company, okay?
Mm.
So that don't mean we're just limited to hot sauce, even though our sauce has some elements of hot sauce in it.
Right.
Actually, we are more of a flavor company, if you really want to get down to it, because you use our products, you know what I mean? It's uplifting.
Yeah.
It's not like eating fire, you know what I mean?
But burning
Okay.
yourself. Oh.
Yeah, we don't want to burn it. We enhance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So take a chance because we enhance. And like I said, if it ain't Beal, it ain't real.
I
Okay. All right.
like it. I appreciate you being on. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
I appreciate you and the opportunity and thank all our customers out there that have tried Beal sauce. Okay. All right.
I will become one of them. I need to try
Thank
this
you.
now.
Do that.
Will do.
Okay.